What do you think about the LGBT relationships lessons school disruption in Birmingham? That's from Elf Boy. Thank you, Elf Boy, for that. That's a really good question. And that takes us back to Jess Phillips, didn't we? Because she's been going around there fishing for support and compliments and all that. Right. The LGBT stuff. Oddly enough, I kind of almost agree with the religious people who are protesting, but it is a Moat and Bailey argument because when they say, well, should we teach that people have two dads, two mums? Yes, we should. Why not? Tell them about the world. Of course, man. You know, you don't have to get hardcore. I've seen the World Health Organization has just put out recommendations to tell 3 and 4-year-olds about masturbation. And I'm not making that up. That is legitimate. World Health Organization. Those guys have gone to shit now, and they've actually put it in about talking to kids about masturbating, which they do, by the way. Anyone that's got kids will tell you. Ages 3, 4, they realise that, oh, well, there's a button there that feels quite nice, and they do it the same way they pick the nose or bite the nails. Of course they do. But I don't really want my teacher, the teacher of my 4-year-old child, to be having conversations about it. Thank you very much. So, I'm for that. And that's the thing. I am for relationship knowledge. Of course. You know, like, there's why not? Why not? But and that's what they say. That's what your Owen Joneses and stuff. It's like, well, we just want to tell them about the world. Why would you want to hide the fact that there's gay people? No, I don't. Of course I don't. So I disagree with the protesters' reasons for being there. But oddly enough, I agree with their goals, and I'll tell you why. Because it's not just telling people that sometimes kids have two dads or two mums. It's not just that, though, is it? That's the problem. Wrapped up in all of that other stuff is kids coming out of the education system thinking that women can have penises. So you're selling me on one argument, but what's the other stuff that I'm not hearing about? Because at the moment, kids are exiting the school system with an absolute denial of science. They are happily and comfortably, and the teachers are doing it too, they are sitting there and there is saying there is no biological test to tell women from men. And it's like, well, we've been over this before, man. There's some pretty clear ones. Straight away. Beyond, I'm not even going to say it. And that's the issue. That's what I don't like at the moment. I don't like the fact that, you know, there was that guy in America recently that got done for telling an 8-year-old that he was trans, and keeping it from his family. He kept it from the family. He kept it a secret from him. The kid had gas. He had wind, and he didn't want to go to the toilet because the male 8-year-old didn't want to go to the male toilets. The teacher decided he was trans, decided to, you know, encourage, empower, bring him out like a flower and all that, and the parents ended up winning millions off him. They sued him, and damn right they fucking did, because it's none of your business. I want my kid to learn that cars exist. That cars drive on the left-hand side of the road wherever. The right-hand side, which is the correct way. We're actually a minority here. I think there's just us in Thailand that does it. I don't think so. You know, I want them to know that. I want them to know the basic things about, you know, teach them about it. Teach them about speed. Teach them about miles per hour. I don't want someone who's only ever been in school, university, teacher training college to then teach my daughter how to fix a car engine. That's the thing, and that's what we're getting right now. They're trying to teach, rather than just teaching something does exist, they're going beyond their mandate. They're going beyond their area of expertise. They're convincing autistic children that they're trans when they're not. They're autistic, and it's like, it's none of your fucking business. It's not for you, and that's the thing. It's causing problems. You're trying to do a good thing, and it is a good thing. Of course it is, man. But here's the thing. Here's why it should be scrapped. They should be teaching the respect for an individual. That's the core that should be there. And in fairness, I've read the policy. That is what's there for the most part. It really is. If you actually read what they're teaching in Birmingham right now in that school, it for the vast most part it is. But that's what it should be. Respect for sovereignty, respect for the individual, you know? I don't like what you say, but I'll defend your right to say it. That attitude, you live your life. As long as you're not hurting me, you do whatever the heck you want. You know, did I just say heck? Oh my God. But yeah, that's the core of it. Because the problem at the moment is they're using bad data. They're using skewed statistics, like this nonsense about 47% of bisexual people get raped. It's not true, or it's not been demonstrated. They asked 280 people, 286 people, 286 people, and they then weighted that across the entire US population of, what is it now, 360 million. They got 286 people from a phone poll. Who even does phone polls? And weighted it across. But the problem is they're then teaching that in schools, and it's not true, or at least it's not been verified in any way whatsoever, and that's the problem. You're victimizing it. They do it as well with they'll have like, you know, like man, woman, and then there's the scale. But if they actually did it accurately, there'd be man and woman, and then, you know, if it's like that, there'd be a tiny little sliver there in the middle, like a tiny little pen, and that's everyone else. And it's kind of misweighting it. So if you're gay, if you're ill, if you're, or, you know, autism's the big one at the moment. If you're any of those and you're a man or a woman or whatever, and then you get shown this middle ground, which can be all sorts of different things, as being equally weighted. And it's just as valid. You've got every right to live that life as anyone else. Of course you fucking have. But you're confusing your minds. People who need help. Genuine help and support. And you're just going, well, you're obviously trans. And it's like, well, it might not necessarily be the case. Maybe they were fucked in the ass by their uncle since they were 4 years old and they're a little bit confused now. And maybe they've got so many issues. You see, the problem is, and it is happening, it's already happening. I've known people that have done this, like, I'm a lady, and then a year later it just goes out the window because it's a shortcut to being special. And when you're a teenager, when you're a kid, you know, they're all being told, you know, you're fine as you are, and it's like, no, you're not. You're a fucking child who, with the right encouragement, can grow continuously through your whole life. But at the moment, you get stuck on that adolescent, like, yeah, and it's a shortcut to being special. And you say you're trans, and suddenly you're scuppered away, and it's like, you know, there's many colours in the homo rainbow, and suddenly you're part of a group and a team, and you've got all these things, and before you know it, you're taking pills so that you've got tits, and then a couple of years later, your dicks come off, and then a couple of years after that, when it all dies down and you have to just get on with regular life, you're like, what the fuck have I done? And that's happening more and more and more. We don't even know how much it's happening because the data keeps getting suppressed on it. But it is happening, and suicide, and that's the thing, really. I don't know. So that's what I think about the LGBT thing. I think at the moment, yes, I'm not happy with it, and that doesn't mean I've got an issue with gay people or anything. I don't. I think we should be teaching respect for the individual, respect for your rights to live your life, respect for leaving each other alone. You're never going to stop bullying. You're never going to stop. People saying, oh, the kid's getting picked on for being gay or bi or trans or whatever. And it's like, no. Some kids will get picked on because they are vulnerable, because the bully is going to pick on you no matter what. And they're going to find whatever it is. If you don't have a dad, it doesn't matter. They're not getting bullied because they're gay. Just their sexuality is what they are using to hurt them. Yeah? They say it to me all the time. People are testing out what works, what might not work, and all that. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts you. So I'm going to keep pushing through with that, and that's what it is. That's why I don't like it. I don't like drawing a ring around LGBT. I don't like the fact that it segregates them. I've had a big argument with the guy that runs Pride in Manchester. Oh, he works on Pride in Manchester. because I said no. Pride needs to go in Manchester. There's no need for it anymore. It does more harm than good, in my opinion. You know, y'all want to have a big fucking party and get wrecked. Good for you, man. MMR vaccine has... Oh, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching MMR right now. I'm already 20 minutes over. Do you know what? And that brings me on to this, actually. It's gonna have to be the last. Yeah. Oh my god. So I might on the edit. I might get some of that earlier bit. The blocking policy by @Edward Lord. Go and check for me if you're on Twitter. If you are blocked by Edward Lord, I will block anyone who tweets abuse to or about me, my friends, my colleagues, or marginalised communities. Well, right now women are becoming marginalised. So why is he blocking all of them? Comment below. Give the lie to these. Many of those blocked will have never heard of him. And yeah, this is the curse right now of block lists. I love it. He's blocking women. 82% of people he's blocked are women. So this guy works for the City of London. This isn't just some prick who's out and about nowhere or whatever. This is Edward Lord, OBE. There he is. Oh god, that's it. Yeah, okay. Let's not get into personal things. Leadership, integrity, equality, community. Councillor of the City of London. He's a councillor of the City of London. Independent director of British Basketball League. Diversity and inclusion champion. He's bi and NB because of course he is. He's non-binary and bi because he's so fucking special and independent. You know what? I don't care. I don't give a fuck what you are. And I find your wearing of your sexuality creepy. What I do in the bedroom, it just doesn't fucking matter. And it doesn't affect my work. It's got nothing to do with anything. It's so weird, isn't it? It's so weird. I knew people for years before I actually knew they were gay or whatever. Because who cares? Who the fuck cares? What they like to gobble on? I don't know. But yeah, this guy, trans studies, trans lives, past, present and future, he's pushing all this. He is a councillor for the City of London. He is working on this shit. He is sharing stuff like life isn't binary. Because they just refuse to accept that there's such a thing as male or female. So proud to have played a small role in its creation. The thing about this is they're collecting data right now. They want to know exactly. So you can go on Maya Forstater. There's a Google Docs thing. Check Edward Lord. See if you are blocked. Pretty much everyone is. Blocked by him. Because he's using every block bot under the sun, apparently. The entirety of Twitter. So if you're inclusion, and if you're being about inclusiveness, then why the fuck are you blocking everyone? If you're bringing in rules of mixed changing rooms, which mean that more women are being sexually assaulted, and you are blocking by default those people who are being sexually assaulted, that's not very good, is it? That's not very healthy. These people are in a cult. These people are religious at this point. It is a religious cult, this intersectional feminist nonsense. They will not allow outside opinion. They will not discuss their views. They invent their own meanings for commonly used words so that they can quickly identify whether or not you are in the cult or you are an enemy of the cult. They call you out to see if you will bend the knee, not because they want to include you or they want to make the world better, but because they want to dominate you. Do not do what these people say. Do not fucking let the pricks like Edward Lord take away your right to live the life you want. And it is insane right now. It is insane that I am actually getting on board with third wave feminists because they're finally tasting their own medicine, aren't they? Because pricks like this guy are making the rules and blocking anyone that might have a dissenting opinion. I'm only on this right now because I'm on a private one. But it's not cool. Trans women are women. No, they're not. They're not, though, are they? Why would you say that? Of course they should have the right to use Hansard Heath, Ladies Ponds. Right, here's the thing, man. 99 point something % are either men or women. Yeah? There's a few in the middle that are a bit confused. There's a few that just like wearing clothing of the opposite sex. There's a few very, very confused and somewhere in the middle and all that. And then there's some that need to go the whole hog and chop it all off and get it all done, and that's fine. If that makes you happy and that makes you comfortable, fine. But let's just deal with the 99%, shall we? In terms of a fucking pond. And if you were born a man, you're not a woman. You will never be a woman. But if you want to live as a woman, I am happy to respect that. I will always refer to you as a woman, so long as you know. I mean, the only time I don't do that is if they've there was that one recently that was trying to abuse kids. No, you've lost common respect now. Or the one that went to that women's prison and raped a couple of women as soon as he got there. No, you're not a woman. Fuck off. I'm not gonna. You're a man with a cock that you used to rape women with. You're also a man with superior strength that you used to hold down the woman that you raped. You were a man at that point. If you want to live as a woman, I will 100% respect that in every conceivable way. Even if you're a dick. I mean, I draw the line at sexual abuse and rape, but even if you're a dick, I'll still say she. And I do. You can go back and check that. I'll still say she. I don't agree with you. I don't think you're still a girl. That's fine. That's how you want to live your life. I got that respect for you. I'd hope that you have that respect for me, right? But this is part of the cult. Trans women are women. I've started doing that now. Whenever I see this on Twitter, I've started replying with that. Do you remember Captain Picard from Star Trek: The Next Generation? Do you remember when he was being tortured? It was that really famous episode, and the guy was saying how many lights are there, and he was going, there are 4 lights. I just reply that gif now. I don't say anything because I'm like, no, I don't care what you say. It's a duality thing. Of course they're women. Of course they can exist as women in the world, and if they're lucky enough to pass, then they'll go to women's groups and all that, and that's fine, and no one's going to do it, man. But you can't start insisting that people with penises are allowed in women's spaces. You're encouraging sexual abuse. You're encouraging rape. And it's happening. It's a fucking problem, isn't it, man? This is how the Soviet Union got started. And this is why the far right, they're not far right, but this is why the populists are coming up so strongly. Because we keep being told there's 5 lights when we all know there's 4. And the vast majority of us are trying to just do the right thing and get by, but it's exploding now. There's a safety valve going to go, and that's why people like Sargon are coming up. That's why people like Tommy Robinson are coming up. That's why the whole world is, that's why the Indian elections just went the way they did, because you keep telling us there's 5 lights and we know there's 4. Guys, please drop us a subscription, especially if you're new. Please let people know about the show. If you do not agree with me, or if you do agree with me, please tell me. If I'm talking shit, tell me. Please do. I want to know. Because I get stuff wrong, of course I do. I make mistakes, I'll do it live on air, I'll correct myself. Of course I will. But then again, if you've got a counterpoint for me, then I want to know that too. So please drop me a subscription, drop me a share. We had one person saying, "Oh, I don't know if I can share because of the tone and stuff," and it's like, well, drop us a share on Facebook and just say, "Look at these knobheads, look at these dicks, they're full of shit," and then you can trick everyone, and then they'll watch it and go, "That's quite good actually. That's quite interesting." Trans women weightlifter broke all the records in one meet. Yeah, there was that one that won like 9 out of 9 and got like 4 records in one thing. And she's had all her things taken off her, hasn't she? And rightly so. Them's the breaks, man. I'm never going to play in the NBA. I got to live with that. I'd love to. I'd love to be David Beckham. I'd fucking love it. It is never going to happen, and it would have never happened. Yeah? If you're a dude with a dick, or a dude that had a dick that now has long hair and lipstick, I'm sorry, you can't play in women's leagues. That's what it is. Here's the thing, man. Most male-dominated leagues aren't actually excluding women. That women are allowed in. There's a thing. I had this the other day. It's like, oh well, they're just exclude. Women would be as good as men if they weren't excluded. No, women were as good as men. Would be as good as men if they'd also had millions of years of evolution that led men to be what they are, the protectors. Jesus Christ. Again, this brings us back to what we were saying before about the LGBT. There's something there that happens where, all right, so I agree to the two dads thing because I think that's true and I think that's good that you do that. But how do you come out the other end thinking that women could be the best football players on the planet if they just weren't given a doll as a baby? It's like, that's insanity. That is actual cult thinking. And so that's what I've got an issue with. But yeah, like I said to Hayden the other day, I think that one of the valves that's going to burst is going to be trans women are going to have the records for every major sporting event on the planet that they haven't been excluded from. And at that point, people are just going to go, all right, yeah. Maybe there's a tiny difference between men and women. Tiny. They won't fully admit it, will they? Oh, it's beautiful.